lots of difficult days. For example, we just couldn't get a loan for even importing a computer. It took us about a year and a half. Fortunately, Karnataka State Financial Corporation and Karnataka State Industrial Investment Development Corporation gave us the loan. I went to Citibank, where my nephew used to be the country head, Jaitit Cherry Rao. They were not ready. Of course, Jaitit at that time was in New York. Then I went to Bank of America, where my friend was the head. He gave me lunch and all of that, but he said, no, sorry, we can't give you. And we went to ANC Greenlace, and they were not ready to give any loan. So raising finance was a very, very difficult thing. Then next, we couldn't hire any consultants from outside India for teaching us quality principles and productivity principles, because RBI had some rules that you can't pay more than $200 per day and all of that. Nobody would want to come to India at $200 per day. So on all counts, we had extremely difficult situation. Employees wouldn't join us because we had no place at all. In fact, I remember I had gone and given an interesting talk to a set of youngsters from IIT Madras. 4 of them, bright fellows. They were all 9+ pointers. And when they wrote to me saying they were coming to join us, I found that we had no office in Pune. So I had to go and ask my friend Dr. Narayan Pisharoti to give part of his office, and I had to hire tables and chairs, and we had no computers, so I had to make an arrangement with Walchand Nagar. It was difficult, but then if you are enthusiastic, if you are energetic, if you have some decent aspiration, you do overcome these issues. The important thing is to have aspiration, is to be confident, is to be optimistic. You can find solutions because by and large people around you help you.
शुरुआती दौर में इन्फोसिस का सफर मुश्किलों से भरा था। खर्चे पर कड़े नियंत्रण की जरूरत थी। काम मिलना तो एक तरफ, बाजार में किए हुए कामों का पैसा वसूल करना भी काफी कठिन था।
Every month it was a struggle to make him pay the dues. In fact, at one point I remember at the 4 years when I was responsible for that in New York. So I told them, if you are not going to release the check, we are walking out. So it's not easy. It's financially we are very, very prudent.
सफलता की राह में आगे चलते हुए कई मुश्किलें पेश आईं। उन 7 फाउंडिंग फादर्स को कई कुर्बानियां देनी पड़ी, जो बहुत कठिन था, लेकिन बहुत जरूरी भी।
When we were developing the package called DMAP, Distributors Management Application Package, so we were working in France. So several of us used to stay there. Murthy, myself, Prahlad, Dinesh, and a few others. And Murthy and Prahlad, the first to leave, so they work at 4:30. They get at 4:30 in the morning. There was only one bathroom available for all of us. So, and I used to, and we couldn't spend time going to restaurants. But I was the head chef. I used to cook food, and I used to be the chef. People will cut. Murthy will cut vegetables. Dinesh, so will wash the dishes and all that. We used to work together.
इन निर्माताओं की परवरिश साधारण मिडिल क्लास मूल्यों के साथ हुई, जो उन्हें उनके माता पिता से मिले। इन्हीं मूल्यों ने उन्हें एक साथ आकर एक लक्ष्य की ओर कदम बढ़ाने में मदद की, और यही मूल्य इस कंपनी को आज भी औरों से अलग बनाते हैं। नारायण मूर्ति को यह विश्वास था कि सॉफ्टवेयर इंडिया को रेवोल्यूशनाइज कर देगा।
Was doing something for the country a part of the value system or part of the objectives when Infosys went about creating history in software?
Oh yes, very, very clearly it was our belief that if we created this company and if this company succeeded, we would be in a position to demonstrate that it is possible to develop world-class software from India. We would be in a position to enhance the confidence of a lot of Indians. We would be in a position to enhance the image of India. Similarly, we said by conducting an experiment in democratization of wealth, we would create, many people who are rupee millionaires, dollar millionaires. That again was another, in some way, desire to enthuse hundreds of thousands of entrepreneurs. We also said that, look, if we can compete with the best global companies from India, then we said the image of India would go up, the confidence of India would go up, etc. In some sense, yes, definitely.
So all this was a conscious part of the thinking, the strategy.
Yes.
It was not a byproduct. Many people believe it was a byproduct, but I don't think that's the case.
No, it was not a byproduct, because, you know, we designed and articulated the global delivery model. We built a very good quality department right in the beginning. We built a very good education and research department. We built a very good human resources development department. And these were all conscious acts, and we were certainly one of the earliest in the industry to do that. And when you build all these infrastructural departments like human resources, education research, quality, productivity, and then you have a model that leverages the strength of India, that can demonstrate to people outside that Indians can indeed deliver world-class software, then I suppose it is a well-designed and well-thought-out model.
And that's why everyone's proud of Infosys.
You are very kind.
पुणे की गलियों में घूमते हुए नारायण मूर्ति ने इन्फोसिस को लेकर अपना विजन अपनी पत्नी सुधा के साथ बांटा था.
There's one more revolution is going to come in India, that is software. And for that you don't require a lot of money. It's not a heavy engineering industry. It's more of an intellectual.
इन्फोसिस एक यंग कंपनी है. जो वैल्यू सिस्टम मिस्टर और मिसेस मूर्ति अपने घर पर लागू करते हैं, वही वैल्यू सिस्टम वो उनकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पर भी इंप्लीमेंट करते हैं, जिसने आज कंपनी को एक ऊंचे मुकाम तक पहुंचाया है. इन्फोसिस एक पीपल सेंट्रिक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के तौर पर भी जानी जाती है.
Such a strong value-based approach, such a challenging environment at the same time. How do you get all the employees to be part of this ethos? How do you rally them around your dream? Because when it was 6 partners, I'm sure it was something that you could do at a personal level. But how do you do it with 1 lakh people?
Well, what we do is the following. I personally believe that leadership by example is the most powerful instrument any leader has to communicate values, to communicate convictions and beliefs. That's where I'm a great admirer of Mahatma Gandhi. So all of us lead by example, whether it is coming on time to the office, whether it's completing the work that we are supposed to do for the day, whether it is being respectful and showing dignity and courtesy to colleagues, etc., etc., whether showing customer commitment. In all these things we demonstrate and lead by example. That's one. Second, we have created multiple tiers of leadership in Infosys. We have 45 people at tier 1, just below the members of the board. Then we have 135 tier 2 and 405 tier 3. In other words, we have got 580 people in these 3 tiers, and they, in some way, they become the messengers. They become people who communicate these values. They become people who lead by example in their own groups.
Okay.
So, and then we don't lose any opportunity to communicate and interact with our youngsters.
And are you satisfied with the way Infosians have inculcated the values? Do you feel that you've been able to communicate the same level of passion down the line?
By and large, yes. You know, but I have tremendous respect for youngsters. I am a great believer in the power of youth. In fact, that is why I have a lot of respect and affection and admiration for you, because my belief is that younger people are much better than what I was at their age, for a very simple reason. When I was young, I had very few choices. Today our youngsters have lots of choices, but in spite of those choices, they are able to show their commitment to work. They are able to show their desire to become excellent, and that's not easy. It's like your son. Your son has lot more choices than you had, right? But if he becomes like you, that means he has in fact achieved quite a lot, because he has a lot of choices. So in that sense, I'm a great admirer of youngsters, and I believe by and large they have demonstrated that.
किसी भी कंपनी के वैल्यू सिस्टम उनके फाउंडर्स के वैल्यू सिस्टम पर आधारित होते हैं। सुधा मूर्ति मानती हैं कि किसी भी व्यक्ति को अपनी मेहनत से पैसा कमाने का हक है, लेकिन साथ ही उसका दिखावा करना सही नहीं है।
The hardest portion in my life was not when I did not have money. The hardest portion was when you had money and tell children to lead a normal, simple life. Because the press every day writes how much money you have. And when I tell my son, oh, you can't buy because you can't afford, because he knows I can afford, and still install them a middle class value was a tough. But I always tell children, please understand, you know, lot more money does not mean lot more luxury. Lot more money means lot more philanthropy, lot more compassion, lot more care for have-nots. And my son sent a very nice email when he went to college. He said, everybody works for their own children, but my mother worked for someone else's children. Then I felt he had understood what work I do.
इन्फोसिस का मानना है कि भेदभाव से परे होकर हर एक काबिल इंसान को समान मौका देना चाहिए, और इस सिद्धांत को इन्फोसिस में बड़ी गंभीरता के साथ लिया जाता है। महिला, पुरुष, जाति, यहां तक कि फिजिकली चैलेंज्ड लोगों को भी यहां काम करने के समान अवसर प्राप्त होते हैं।
Well, we set out to make sure that we offer a equal opportunity to disabled people. So we got about 280 or so disabled people across the corporation in all locations. We started a special drive to get them into the company. So we hired them. I think they're doing reasonably well.
जवान पीढ़ी के लिए इन्फोसिस एक कर्म भूमि की तरह है। शायद इसीलिए हर साल लाखों लोग इन्फोसिस में काम करने की तमन्ना रखते हुए इस कंपनी की तरफ अपने कदम बढ़ाते हैं। कंपनी इस नौजवान पीढ़ी की मनोकामनाओं की कसौटी पर खरी उतरने का पूरा प्रयास करती है।
We have a very young workforce. Average age of the workforce is 26 years. And today one generation is about 5 to 8 years as against 20 years earlier. So every new batch of people, every new set of youngsters who come in have a different attitude to life. And I think the people who come in today are very different from the people who came in 10 years ago. People who come in today want to have more fun at work. They want to interact with more people. They work very differently. They're more digitally connected. So we set out to create a campus and a workspace which meets with their requirements in terms of after campus work. We have gyms, we have coffee shops, we have play fields all over the place, and we have places for them for recreation purposes and various other areas.
ख्वाबों को हकीकत का रूप देना इतना आसान नहीं होता, लेकिन कहा जाता है कि सफर में आई हर मुश्किल को पार कर इंसान अपने इरादों में और मजबूत होता है।
When your joint venture with KSA broke up, was that a very difficult time for the company?
No, not as much as when we closed down our agreement with Database Corporation. You know, we had a 6-year agreement with Databases Corporation, but then we found that their view of the world and our view of the world was different, so we decided to part ways. That was a very, very difficult time, because then we had to find new clients, we had to invest in marketing and all of that. The KSA one was difficult, but not as difficult.
Like the KSA time, or the time when you parted ways with GE, who was your largest client, were all the partners in agreement about the course of action to be taken? How was the decision made to sort of change the direction of the company?
Well, GE thing was a difficult one, because at that time we were a listed company. GE contributed 25% of our revenues and 8% of our bottom line. So it was a very difficult decision. But the good thing about Infosys is we sit down, we discuss, we debate, we use data, and people rally around somebody who has good data, who has good logic, and everybody was very, very kind to me when I took the decision that we would not proceed further with GE, because it was not in our interest, because I knew that sooner or later we'll let them down, because we couldn't invest adequately in you know, technology, in people, etc. But generally at Infosys it's always a consensus. We argue, we discuss, we debate, and finally we all come together on any decision. So,
and this consensus is arrived at based on, do you think, certain set of values that you have instilled in the team as an unspoken rule, or that guide the way you work?
Oh yeah.
What was the role of some of these guiding principles in these decisions that you took?
You know, for example, we have always agreed on deferred gratification. For example, right from day one, I told all my colleagues that, look, you will spend less than what you earn. And every year we will declare profits, and every year we will declare dividend. And then on that dividend you will pay your tax and put it back as your equity, because we started